Hey everyone, this is Natalie with Eclectic Bakes, and today I'm going to teach y'all how to make macarons. So first, a public service announcement. This is a macaroon. It is not the same as a macaron. This is a macaron. It's a French sandwich cookie, and it's normally 2 shells filled with some type of filling, like a buttercream. It has a nice, smooth, shiny top, and it has these things called feet, and that's the little rise you get as they bake. So let's talk about how to make them. So first we're going to start with 2 egg whites, preferably at room temperature. We're going to put them in a mixer, and we're going to mix on medium speed until nice and frothy. To help things move along, we're just going to add a little pinch of salt. This will help the egg whites froth and help keep the meringue nice and stiff. Once we've got some tight bubbles formed, we're going to add a 1/4 cup of sugar, also known as 55 grams. And you're going to want to slowly add that to your mixer. If you dump it in all at once, then it's going to make your meringue all flat and it won't come together. So just slowly mix that in. Now we're going to increase the speed of the mixer to high, and we're going to beat until it's got nice, glossy, stiff peaks. You can always test to see if it's done by taking out your beater, turning it upside down, giving it a little wiggle, a little shake, and you can see that it's holding its peak. So now we're going to add the rest of our ingredients. So we're going to start with a 1 cup or 100 grams of almond flour that we're going to add to a sifter. And then we're going to add 1 cup or 110 grams of powdered sugar. It's really important you sift this. That's how you're going to have a nice light texture to your macaron. So now that we've added our sifted ingredients, we're just going to start folding everything together. At first it's going to seem like it's not going to want to come together, but just keep going and you're going to get a nice mixture. Now, if you were going to make this whole batch one color, you could add the coloring at the beginning. I'm actually going to split it up. So I'm just going to mix to the point where everything's together, and then I'm going to take a little bit of batter and separate it between some different bowls. For the background color of our macarons, we're going to take a little blue and a little yellow to make some green. So we're going to start folding, and the folds now are going to get more important because we're getting really close to our optimal consistency. What we want is a mixture that's thick enough to kind of stream off and hold its shape, but not so thick that it's going to be watery. So as we start getting the color mixed in, what you're going to want to do is every few folds start lifting your spatula and seeing how the mixture falls off of it. If it comes out in one giant clump, you're not quite there. When it starts to stream, you're going to know you're pretty close. So what we want is a continuous ribbon. So I'm starting to get close. So what I'm going to do is every few turns, just pick up my spatula and see what happens. And so ideally you're going to get this nice ribbon kind of streaming off your spatula, just like that. So we're going to do that with the rest of our colors. So I've just got some nice fall colors here, and with a little movie magic, snap. We've got everything ready to go. So go ahead and transfer your batter to either a plastic bag or piping bags, and then pull out your Silpat, or you can just use parchment paper on a baking tray. So we're going to pipe circles of our batter onto our sheet. It's okay if they're different sizes, we're going to deal with that later. But if you want to be anal and make sure that everything is the exact same size, you can actually buy Silpats with the circles on them, or you can take a printed piece of paper with circles, slide it under your Silpat or your parchment paper, and use that as a guide. I kind of like free-forming it because it's quick and it's easy. So now we're gonna get some really great video that's gonna really help you. What I'm doing here is I've picked up my baking sheet and I'm slamming it with the bottom of my hand to flatten out these macarons. This is how you're gonna get those nice smooth tops. So at this point, you could leave them just like that, or what we're gonna do is pipe on some cute little trees. So I've got my brown batter, and I'm just gonna make a little trunk, and then I'm gonna use my red, my yellow, and my orange to pipe some little dots for the leaves. Now you could leave these as dots, or if you want to make it a little bit more abstract, you can use a toothpick and kind of just lightly drag through the colors and give it a really pretty swirl pattern. So once they're ready to go, what you're going to want to do is let them sit for an hour. This is important because it's going to help form a skin on top so that they rise nice and pretty. And then after that hour, you're going to bake them for 14 minutes in a preheated 300-degree oven. If you have a convection oven, make sure the fan is off, otherwise they won't rise properly. So once they're baked, you're going to want to let them sit and cool completely. And then if you have any macarons that have formed a little relationship like this, we're going to end that nonsense with a knife. You're just going to use a butter knife, something not very sharp, just to cut through, because there's going to be no hand holding here. Then you're going to just lightly lift them off the sheet. Be careful because they are pretty delicate, so you can use a light twisting motion to lift them off. And like I said before, it's okay if your macarons came out different sizes, because now you can mix and match so that the tops and the bottoms are close to the same size. Then we can start filling them up. So I always like to flip everything over first, that way it's nice and easy to fill. And what I've got here is just a simple buttercream made of butter and powdered sugar and some flavoring. And I've got it in a Wilton bag with piping tip number 21. This will just add some nice pretty ridges and make them look really cute and professional. But you can always just use a Ziploc bag as well. So then you can use your piping bag to fill your macarons. Now the filling is where you get to have a lot of fun with flavor. The macaron shells themselves kind of just taste slightly of almond and sugar, but you can do anything you want with the macaron filling. So you could do a straight buttercream with some vanilla or some chocolate, or you could pipe a ring of buttercream and then fill it with your favorite jam or caramel sauce. There's so many different things you could do. You could also do colors to complement your macaron shells. Now I wanted to talk really quick about what happens when you overmix your batter, just so y'all know what it looks like. So the macaron shell on the left is one of the ones that we just worked on. It's got a nice tall foot on it, nice smooth top, it's pretty and shiny. The macaron on the right is one that I purposely messed up by overmixing. As you can see, it's flatter, the foot kind of splooshed out the side, it cracked on top, and it's just not as pretty looking. Now this isn't a problem because it still tastes great, so please eat them. And then a little pro tip for storing your macarons, always store them on their sides. Those shells are pretty delicate, and if you store them stacked on top of each other, they have a tendency to crack and fall. And there you go. Now you know how to make fancy French macarons. You can impress your coworkers, your friends, your family, and everyone will think that you're some fancy French pastry chef. I hope y'all give these a try, and don't feel discouraged if the first couple of times they don't come out perfect. It took me a while to get nice, consistent results, but just keep trying and you'll get there eventually. You can always ask me questions in the comments and I will respond with advice. Please like this video and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thank y'all so much.